welcome to the CarCast. Brian, Austin, Green. Brian, great to see you.
Good to see you also.
So what we have planned for you today is not only did Brian bring a very bitchin' car from his collection for us to go highlight out in the parking lot here at the studio, we also have in-car camera footage of the Grand Prix of Long Beach. So Donnie's taken my in-car footage and Brian's in-car footage and put it next to each other. Which one's me?
You're the top,
on
top
the top
left.
left.
I can see the
All right,
on your
now we're going to start the race, and we can see that Zach Levi's
he loses first right away,
cutting me off and about to drive me into the wall.
Yeah.
Right there.
I love the horn honk attempt.
Well, what are you going to do? Throw chewing tobacco at him? So now we go into the first corner, and I guess at this point it's Adrian.
Adrian's in front, and then it's Zach, and then you.
Zach Levi, then me.
Yeah.
And
then me. And
Brian
then I'm following right behind you.
Brian is up my ass. Now, my feeling going into the beginning of the race, and I mentioned it to everyone, they leave you alone in the little driver's area right before the beginning of the race, and I just said, look, everybody, your adrenaline's going to go through the roof, your testosterone's going to go through the roof. Just take it easy for the first few laps. Like don't kick anyone, don't mash into anyone, and then at some point at the end go nuts. Yeah. Which we basically did.
We got that conversation in the locker room.
Yeah, we got
in our little locker trailer.
Right. We got into the halfway point. So this is Brian behind me behind Zach Levi and Adrian Brody leading the charge.
Dude, this is so cool to see.
Now the first pass I think will come coming up.
It's coming up. Go. I think it's turn 11, isn't it? Isn't that when you took out Zach?
Well, Zach
no, what happened is Zach missed a shift.
Yeah. Right.
Zach missed a shift halfway down Shoreline Drive, and when Zach missed his shift, I was able to get past him. Later on, I'm going to miss a shift as well. What the hell? So. At this point, I think you passed Zach here too, right?
Yeah.
There's Zach missing a shift.
I'm running right next to him, and I think I actually took him in turn 1.
Right.
Is where I got him. Yeah, you blew past him, and he had still kind of couldn't really get it together on his car.
Right, and Zach was on the pole, and Zach was 2 seconds faster than everyone with the pole.
Yeah.
And I don't want to add
I cut right through there.
I don't want to add any controversy, but there seemed like something was up with that. I couldn't figure out why everyone was the same speed, and then he was 2 seconds faster, and then somebody told me.
He changed cars halfway through.
Yes, but somebody told me there was another transponder issue, but it was hush-hush, and we shouldn't speak of it. And I like Zach so much. And by the way, there's a big difference between doing something intentionally and someone putting 20 bucks under your pillow. Zach may have gotten 20 bucks put under his pillow. I don't know. Right. But Brody did a little passing under the yellow flag, which was illegal. Well, you're going to see it. Now, you were, of course, so far up in front of the race at that point, Brian, you had no idea. Now we're running, I'm running in second place.
Yeah, I'm third.
Brian's in third. And to be honest, at this point, here's what I'm thinking.
You have this in the bag.
No.
No?
I don't think that about anything.
Oh.
Here's what I'm thinking. I'm very happy to be in second place 2 laps into the race.
Yeah.
I will catch Adrian Brody.
Yeah.
I won't have to force anything for a while because he's going to make a mistake.
Right.
And what happens is when you get people in your mirrors, you just make a mistake. You blow a shift, you go a little hot into a turn, you do something, but you'll make a mistake. And if you ride behind a guy for 8 laps, inevitably,
they'll blow it.
I'll blow it too if you're behind me for 8 laps. We'll all blow it, unless your name is Tanner Faust or Steve Miller or Jimmy Vassar. You will blow it eventually. So that's my plan. Now, what I hadn't planned on is Brian, who's behind me, who's going to come up and start wreaking havoc with my rear bumper. I was really at this point, Brian, I was really thinking, you know what? Don't look in the rear view.
Yeah.
What's behind you is behind you.
Yeah.
Run clean.
Yeah.
Try to stay around Adrian, and when he makes his mistake, you'll get past him. But I didn't know And also, I didn't know Brian was quite the competitor that Brian turned out to be. I was picturing the happy-go-lucky musician from 90210.
Right.
Not the tattoo
with
crazy,
the sister,
badass,
with the
hot sister from Colfax Elementary.
Totally. It's a no-brainer. He's a softie.
No-brainer. Now,
I was already...
At this point...
What's funny is, at this point, I remember you guys kept kind of pulling away from me, and I had to keep pushing myself to not try and race you guys, just keep my lines, keep it nice and smooth, correct on 11 where I was going a little wide, and I started slowly getting up on you guys.
Well, what happens... What definitely happens is...
I was going to go for you here, and then I was like...
Yeah, Brian's pulling up next to me on the straight. Now, what ends up happening is guys get a little separation. They get a little bit ahead of you, and you start driving harder. And when you start driving harder, you start driving sloppy, and you end up exacerbating the situation.
Yeah.
So it's this weird thing where even though you see your prey getting away from you, you still have to just go calm down, drive clean, follow your line. You're not going to make it all up in this one corner.
Yeah.
There's 6, 7 more laps. Now, I guess we're going into lap 3, 4 here.
I think this is 4.
You're going into lap 4. I'm still in second. I got about the same space between
you
me
and Brody
and actually, Adrian's a little more ahead of me, but we're all basically in the same group. And
Brody had a big lead.
They're going about the same speed, and it's what you would expect from qualifying, since everyone was within a couple tenths of a second of each other. Anyway, there's going around the fountain later on, where Chris Ashworth famously dropped every ounce of his radiator fluid.
Oh, I can't wait to see the slide outs.
Not only that, but it doesn't show on the ground. I swear to God, better leave that stuff in your garage and let your dog drink it than leave it out on the track. So at this point, we're coming toward the halfway point of the race.
Yeah.
Everyone's running clean. Everyone's running smooth, but the pros are catching up. And the pros, when they arrive, they bring a huge package of shit with them.
Yes.
A big mess.
A big mess.
Yeah.
Now, Brian, I think, is going to go inside and pass me. Now, to let you know, Brian, I saw you right here, and I did not dive in. I saw you, and I thought, I'm not going to take him out, or take me out, or take us out. It was a clean pass, but I saw you and didn't do bullshit. I'm turning in.
That was a late break for me too. I remember coming through it, going, oh, I may be pushing it here.
You were, and just not bragging. Don't need a fruit basket. But I'm just saying, I saw you in my mirror, and I thought, could you dive in? And I thought, nah, don't let him pass.
I gave you the thumbs up there.
Yes.
See, I didn't, because at this point, still in the race, I was still thinking, I want to keep it as clean as possible. I don't want to take anybody out.
Right.
I don't want to, we were still barely halfway through the race.
Right.
And honestly, this was the top pack. We were the ones that, when we were running out on the track, everything, qualifying practice, it always ended up being kind of this heat.
Right.
Brody and I always knew you'd either always be in front of me and I couldn't catch you, or you'd be right behind me and we'd be, battling for it. So
yeah, so
I thought, let's just keep it nice and smooth. Other people will wreck at some point.
Yeah, and everybody's seeing how all the cars are the same, and really the drivers are the same. Then it just comes to luck. Does somebody get caught behind some lap traffic? Does somebody car brake? Does somebody make a mistake? What's going to end up happening? Now, we're coming up on, I'm in third place at this point. Brian has overtaken me. He's in second place. We're coming up on a controversy, which was Brian and I were actually on Shoreline on the straightaway trading a little paint side by side, which I think, now we passed somebody's car who'd been taken out of the race on the back straightaway. I don't know who that was exactly.
No, because Tony jumped out at that big turn before.
Tony went out later. Now we're coming into the hairpin. We're all stacked up. We're at the halfway point. It's Adrian Brody, Brian Austin Green, and me in third place. We make the move, and Brian gets caught up with Adrian.
Yeah.
Brian bumped Adrian, and Adrian turned on Brian.
That was my bump from you.
I love the
You see my hands go?
Yes. Yeah, but now later we bump again.
Oh, later we start.
I'm against the wall. If you have to, you got to.
Watch the bump, though. The first one comes from you.
All right.
Watch
Right.
my hands.
All right. No, I saw your hands did not move. So we're all stacked up going into the hairpin. And Brian doesn't try to pass Adrian here, but he gives him a little love tap and consequently gets caught up with his bumper a little and loses his momentum right here.
Right there.
And that lets me get past him.
So we're side by side. I look over, watch my hands.
All right.
Bang, that was my first hit right there.
You're right.
Off of you.
But now I'm against the wall.
Yeah.
At this point, I'm against the wall.
Now we're just rubbing.
That's a hit, though,
Now
right?
you hit me again.
We're rubbing.
Now we're rubbing.
And I was thinking, who's diving on this?
Well,
I got a little
I missed
worried
the
on
shift
this
on the rub, but then I slid back under Brian.
So you got me here.
And yes, now I'm in second place.
And now I'm thinking, okay, I'm coming for your bumper now. Because we were rubbing on the straightaway. I'm going to annoy you until you make a mistake. That was my thought.
That you did. Although I never really made a mistake. My mistake was trusting you. That was really my mistake.
Look, so we have some little bumps.
Bump
That's
number one.
Yeah.
Now there's going to be a bump coming up here.
Yeah, there's another one.
Bump.
Kind of sticking on you a little bit.
Yeah.
Just
and
tapping
there's
away.
another little bump. Don't mind those.
Oh, I was drafting on you too, man. I was so
all for bumping. It gets a little squirrely coming around this next corner, Brian. This next
Is this
right.
where I lose my mirror?
If you watch, you almost got me a little out of sorts here on this bump right there, because that's my wheel going.
Hey, buddy.
And I give Brian a little. I didn't give him the FU, but I gave him the hey in the corners. Come on now. I almost hit the wall there.
Yeah.
If you watch my head, watch my side, Brian, just to watch what you did to me
It's
for
like
a second.
dirt track racing now at this point.
Now, Brian, focus on the upper left-hand corner and my head, just to sympathize for a second.
Looked like the crash test dummy thing kind of going there.
Now I hooked on his bump. Now at this point, we're 6 laps in, and I'm thinking, all right. And now I'm going to point up at the flagman as we pass by and go, did you catch that shit? Evidently he didn't.
The flagman there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, we're going down shoreline. Now we're 6 laps in. Brian's in second place, and I'm back in third place. And at some point, now where the hell breaks loose is behind us is where the crash took place, right?
Yeah.
And where the crash took place, they had to tow the car, and that's
there. Lost my mirror.
Yeah, I lost it too. Yeah.
Brushing the glass off right there. Yeah. And then watch my wheel afterwards as I straighten out. Look at my.
Yeah, I'll look at Brian is turning right there.
Watch how messed up my.
Kissed it.
Look.
Yeah. Now you and I ended up with the same wheel position on the straightaway.
Yeah, totally. Look.
Oh wait, no, mine's not done. Mine.
No, look at mine.
Yes, mine is going to be that and then some when Zach Levi's done with the front of my car after we hit the radiator fluid, because that's when hell broke. That's when hell broke loose. Now.
Yeah.
We're going down the back. What's the name of this straightaway, by the way? I don't know.
Musan Strait, the Long Beach.
People only know
between 8 and 9.
Only know Shoreline, but they don't know this one. Now it's Brian making up ground on Adrian, who's first place. Me in third place.
How great is it every time you get into this area, though, and you got all the fans right there, and they're all cheering for whatever the position is.
And everyone always kind of bunches up along this. And now we're going into what, lap 7?
Yeah.
Lap 7, going down Shoreline. We've spread it out a little bit. I'm 50 yards behind Brian. Brian's 50 yards behind Adrian. But everyone is still always within striking distance.
You're one turn away.
Just one turn away, thank you, from making it. Now here's where the problem begins. A car crashed behind us. Ashworth T-bones that guy. His car gets torn away. And I see these guys going to the fountain, and I see what the... Adrian Brody starts like hydroplaning into the wall, and then so does Brian. Ooh, now
Now your wheels
Oh, no.
Rewind that for one little second now.
Oh.
Brian, watch me. And I did the same thing Adrian did. And now that's when Zach, I'm turning my wheel, but I'm going straight. And then here comes Zach to clip out. Now watch where my steering position is.
Oh, yeah. Oh, and then who's the pro that passed you?
That was
Vassar?
That was Vassar, yeah. So I hit the fluid, hit the walls, hit Zach, and now everyone got around me. And now if you look at my steering wheel, I'm in the same shitty position.
10 o'clock.
So now suspension fucked up, and now two guys got ahead of me. And this, for me, is kind of where I lost the race. I hit that fucking transmission fluid, two guys got between me and you, and now it was fucked up. But don't worry, kids, there's more action where that came in, because now we're going into the hairpin in front of Shoreline, and that's where the real mayhem occurred.
Yeah. So we're going there, and there was the car over, so they have the flags out.
Now what happened with you,
but
luckily,
they're not standing.
Is you stayed ahead of this mess.
Yeah, I did.
Or got out of this
And this
mess.
is where I passed him. See now?
Yeah, you're banging him here.
Yeah.
And right when all hell breaks loose in this corner, you get out free. Everyone else just bangs. Now watch me against the wall in Adrian right there.
Yeah.
And so you had, I won't call it luck, but
No,
a bit of
wide
luck
open.
in that everyone else got into this big pig fuck in the back, and you got out free. Now the yellow flags are waving. Tanner Faust's hand is out of his car. Everyone's on, and there goes Adrian Brody.
Man, look at that.
Past everyone. All right, so Brian, you just escaped the melee at the hairpin.
Yeah.
Got out pretty much scot-free while everyone
Now,
else was
how far
in a
behind me
pig
did
fuck.
Brody get at that point? Everybody had passed
Brody
him
was
then?
behind me. If you back it up a little
Because
bit.
I had just passed Brody in that turn 11.
Right, well,
here.
Brody got fucked because first, you can stop it for a second. First, you passed with a certain amount of authority in that turn and got into it with Brody a little.
Yeah.
Then Brody got into it with everyone, and then got into it with me. If you see at the end, I'll be against the wall and Brody, and everyone got past Brody. Right. So run it and watch it from my car camera, because first you're hitting him, and then you get around the corner. And if you watch my car camera, I hit Zach, and now you'll see me against the wall. That's Brody and me and the wall. And now you got off pretty clean, and so now
we're on yellow flag, and he starts.
Now it's you and Zach and me and Tanner Faust and Vassar up there. You see the yellow flag. You can let it roll. You see the brake lights. You see. So I saw.
Well, that was the point when it turned to a standing yellow.
Right.
That was when the flag situation changed. Was right after turn 11.
Right.
Because going into that back, I remember when I passed Brody on turn 11, I came around. I was thinking, man, there wasn't. The last two stations I didn't have a yellow for non-passing. We had gotten past the wreck at the back.
Right.
And so I'm running through our flag courses in my head.
Right.
I'm like, wait, standing yellow.
I didn't attend half those days, by the way. But yeah. And you can see the brake lights of Zach Levi's lit up his brake lights, and which you can't see because the screen's too small. But when you get, you won't see it at home either because you'll have your camera footage. You'll see Tanner Faust, who's an experienced racer. His hand is out his window and he's waving. So I immediately see, all right, something's going on.
Right, take it easy.
You can see my steering wheel, by the way, pointing straight up.
Look at mine.
All right, and there,
He goes for two.
Now,
Brody
what you
goes
didn't
for two.
see is Brody passed by me, Tanner, Zach.
Right there.
Yes, and
Holy crap.
and Vassar. And slides in behind you as the pace car slides out.
Oh my God, I didn't know that.
Yes. So that was dirty.
I assumed when I passed him at 11 that he then was in behind me. I didn't see any. I didn't use my mirror at all.
Well, you didn't have
I knew
one.
I was dead ahead.
You didn't have.
And
mirrors.
it was just.
Well, your mirror was in your lap. And
I was holding my mirror.
So at this point, it's the full course yellow. And
for 3 laps.
Yeah. And you can fast forward through this point. At this point, I'm now licking my wounds. I'm like, my steering is fucked up, and everyone's ahead of me, and I'm out of this.
I got to tell you, when I was
race.
following this pace car, the honest to God thought going through my head was, I hope they call this race because I don't know if my car will make it another 2 laps.
That's the honest to God. That's what I was thinking too. And they kept telling us, look, if you go 5 laps in and a full course yellow, that's the end of the race.
Yeah.
We were 8 laps in with a full course yellow. You can fast forward. We racing again?
Yeah.
Okay, now we're just going to watch. Don't bother watching my camera, by the way. I'm not doing
I take a
anything
shot
anymore.
right there. I think that was Vassar starts. He caught up on me so fast.
Vassar was insane. Brody never did get black flagged, and he should have got black flagged and moved back. It wasn't fair to Zach, really, and me for that matter, because it would have second, third.
Oil.
Oh yeah, here comes the big.
I never once hit anything. I got so lucky with the
bumper pool
with that grease, man.
Yeah, the grease, or it was probably radiator fluid. It was probably
God, it was
Ashworth's
so brutal.
radiator fluid that caused that.
I just remember I was driving through here and I was going, man, I can't believe my car is still.
Those cars are
doing
scrappy,
all right.
man. And
Yeah.
now we're passing.
The fire had been put out.
The fire had been put out.
Yeah,
and
it
was
started
passing.
5 laps
I started
earlier
getting
about.
through these laps and I remember thinking, these laps are feeling really good. And then when I looked back and I saw pros behind me, I knew I now have pros behind me, between me and celebrities. Like
Right now,
just hold it together.
Right.
Just keep it nice and clean and hold it together.
And obviously, Brody, I don't know if he's been passed. What did he finish behind you?
I don't.
I don't remember. It was
I don't remember.
He was fairly high still at the
He
You know
never
what?
got
You know what it
into
was?
you,
It
though,
was
did he?
it was Vassar, Tanner, me, Marty, and then Brody.
Oh, okay. So Brody never really seriously challenged you once we got past the yellow flags.
Well, no. He never got up to me again. But and what was funny was I knew that 11 was the lap that I had always passed him in when we were running practice and qualifying. So I knew turn 11, I can take him on that if I can stay up behind him and get up to him. Because it was the same fatal flaw he would do every time. He'd end up breaking too late.
All right, so this is by the way,
this
the
is the
Crazy
big-
Pros sliding past Brian, and these guys are just.
This is the bang. This is the rear end right
These
here.
guys are. Here comes the big rear ender here.
Bang, bang.
Now, that was Tanner Faust nailing Brian, but to be
Watch
fair,
this. What's funny here is, I
gave it away.
let him pass.
Well,
I saw him in the mirror and he waved off. Sorry.
You didn't know that he hit the radiator fluid at the time.
I thought he rear-ended me into.
Yeah, and
Vassar.
Tanner's such a great driver. There's no way he would be hitting that.
And dude, this was the greatest feeling in the world, being behind these two guys. I was like, I'm
just
gonna
follow
hold
their
this
line.
Together.
Yeah. All you had
this
to
is the
do-
coolest view ever.
All you had to do is try to stay close to these guys, and you know you're
And they're still
setting
pulling
record
away.
lap.
That's the amazing thing is you could follow them, and they're still pulling away.
Take the exact same line they take, and they're that fast. All right.
They just brake a little bit less. They they slow down a little bit less. They gas a little bit sooner. They turn a little bit less. It's those tiny little imperfections that we have as celebrities that separate us
versus
from the pros.
Right.
You
But
know,
I
it's like-
must say, the first year I did it, the pros were not much faster than the celebs.
We had two of the fastest pros.
Well,
you
these
can
guys,
find
there's
anywhere.
professional from the world of skateboarding, and then there's professional racers. These guys are professional.
When we got to
racers,
this point, I looked
obviously.
in my mirror. I was like, "Oh my god, I can't believe
Yeah. All right. Well, we know how this ends. All right, now we're out in the parking lot looking at Brian Austin Green's 66 Fastback Mustang. And I should say quickly, if you want to watch what we spoke about as far as the Celebrity Grand Prix race, you can go to adamcarolla.com. It'll be all up there, right, Weezer? Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, tell us about the car, Brian.
completely rebuilt from the ground up. Bob Wang over at Doug's Custom did it for me. We had a bunch of guys come in. Edelbrock came in and beefed it up for me. I have the Gateway suspension underneath. MagnaFlow did the custom exhaust. Year one supplied us with all sorts of body stuff and interior parts.
When you say supply to us, do you mean you got shit for free?
I did this. I did this for the Speed Network. We did the build on this car.
You son of a bitch.
Yeah. So all I actually paid for was the man hours, Bob's work going in, the labor.
Yeah.
Everything else was.
You can't add up.
Oh yeah, it was still around like 45 by the end of the whole thing.
And that's cheap for what you got here.
Yeah.
So we start off with the shell, the 6.6 Stang.
Yeah.
The engine is a
It's
crate,
a 302. It's the 302.
Crate engine.
No, this is the 302 that came in the car when I bought it. Edelbrock just added pieces up on top of it. I had to replace both the rear fenders. It was a nightmare. There was tons of rust on this car. It was completely pulled apart and it was
new
it was
engine,
a mess.
new radiator, new paint. Is it sort of a midnight blue?
It's a midnight blue with pewter racing stripes. Yeah.
Very hot combination. Big brakes. Who's making the brakes
The
on
Bear.
the Bear?
Yeah,
Huge
the
Bear
T4s.
brakes.
I've not seen quite that much disc on the rear of a Mustang in a while. Cross vented and also drilled. 18-inch rims?
17s.
17s? 17-inch rims with about as much disc as you could shoehorn.
Looks like
Yeah, you can't see
about
through
a
them at all.
245 on that tire, Adam.
All right.
You can't see through them at all. They're dinner plates inside.
They did all the creature comforts as well. Air conditioning?
No air conditioning.
Too much weight. Fuck that. You don't need that kind of drag on the crank.
I just didn't want to have all the aftermarket AC parts in there, or have the old school unit, the little,
Well, it's not your daily driver anyway.
No.
Right. All right. Let's go around the back and look in the trunk.
Yeah, Kicker Audio did a whole hidden audio system in the car, and so we have my sub amp here, which is running these guys, and then this is for. They did the custom panel in the back here, and then some kicks up in the front.
And they put a
port. It's a porting,
to the back.
yeah, for the sub.
So
to
there's a
travel through.
hole.
They did a
in the,
nice job with all the trim that fit back in there.
Yeah.
Everything, by the way, all I like the nuts and the washers and all the fasteners
All
seem
lined
very
up
well
too.
done.
Yeah,
all lined up and done very nicely. Yeah, somebody knew what they were doing when
Bob.
they
Bob
rebuilt
Wang.
this car. Should we take a look at the inside of the car?
Yeah, go ahead, man. Jump in. I don't know if you would feel very comfortable driving it. You're a bit tall.
I'm used to front-wheel drive Scion where I'm getting smoked by a bunch of celebrities. And it's a 5-speed.
It's a 5-speed. Hurst supplied me with the new shifter and everything, which is nice. Yeah, nice short shift.
Wow.
This is the 66 AM stereo, which still runs through the center speaker here. So as I was saying, driving over.
The gauge cluster looks pretty stock.
Yeah,
and with these
nice rally
it's all stock. Those are the rallies there.
Got the clock and the tack.
It's all stock. The wheel, the wheel I found online, and
I like that because there's nothing worse than somebody putting a whole bunch of time and money into something, and you end up with that billet ZZ Top aluminum wheel.
I wanted everything to look as original Mustang as possible. That was my goal.
And the interior, yeah, it looks really clean, really straightforward.
Yeah,
it's not a bunch of
I found this.
Console.
Yeah, they're actually remaking these now. So I found this and pieced it together. I like having the console in the middle.
Well, should we start it up?
Yeah, go for it, man.
Push the clutch in to play it safe. Hope I'm in neutral. Yeah. When it sounds healthy,
Needs a double pumper.
Needs a high riser, the double pumper. Yeah.
What's funny actually is my exhaust isn't finished because of the gateway suspension being as new as it is. It's going to go back out to MagnaFlow. It's not connected to the tips right now. It's just dropping down to the concrete
It's gotta
there.
go all the way to the tips.
Yeah, so they have to figure out a way of running around that suspension there and getting it out to the tips. But
you want me to toss a couple revs at you, Donnie? That's kind of nice. I like that corral.
yeah,
Well, man, I'll tell you, my biggest complaint about the hobby is when guys take the cars. I mean, I can dig the modern brakes and I dig the modern suspension.
For performance, right.
Yeah, and even injection and that kind of stuff is all
Yeah.
fine. But then when they start really fucking with the interior and really fucking with the exterior and turning it into like that Eleanor look,
Yeah,
or
I don't like
even beyond, it ends up sort of ruining the purity of it. And what you want is the basic shape and layout of the old with all the cool new stereo, safety, brake, modern, whatever.
Well, I felt like, you know, I lease a Mercedes. Like, I can get those kind of cars. I wanted the feel in this of that it's, you know, that it truly is a 66. I mean, everything is, here's my little hidden audio thing in here. Completely hidden in the front, little remote control. But so you close it up and you sit in here and it looks just very kind of, you know, it looks like it did when I bought it. Just nicer and newer.
All right, so let's review. Having sex with Megan Fox, beat me in the Celebrity Grand Prix, and is now in a 66 Fastback where all the parts were donated by sponsors. I'm officially going to vomit, and something's gone horribly awry.
I put the offer out to you though. You find the car, and
we got a warehouse full of cars unfinished.
We get the same deal.
I can get the same. All the sponsors will hook up your car the same way.
Well,
you come out, be on camera, and do it.
I got a '71 Ford Bronco, baby.
Oh, beautiful.
We're going to do it up right. Brian, you've been nothing short of a delight, and have fun tonight. I got him the disc with the in-car footage. Have fun drinking a little wine and watching that. You're a true sport, a competitor, a champion. I had fun dicing it up with you. I hope we get to do it again soon. And yeah, come back, bring another car, bring your girlfriend, bring a double pumper. We'll have a party. And again, if you want to see the footage, and it's really cool because it's Brian's in-car, so it's Brian's POV, as we say in the business, and my POV. And half the race, you're looking at my POV, looking at Brian's bumper, and the other half, you're looking at Brian's bumper. Unfortunately, the half that counted was the part where I was looking at Brian's bumper. But you see what happened from each POV. So when you see my head move around violently,
you know what
you can see where Brian's car, and it's
keep
really
tally on it.
Side by side. Really
I'm just happy in watching it side by side that we finally got to the bottom of the straightaway. The mix-up there.
Yes, it was
because we argued that.
Good, hard, clean.
We argued that
racing, and I have no quarrel with you, my friend.
Okay.
All right. So until next time, this is Adam Crow for Brian Austin Green and the Professor Sandy Ganz saying mahalo.